And mega mwah, love shout out to everyone. Magandang umaga, tanghali, gabi. Ayan, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. O, diba? Am I loud and clear, guys? Ayan, naririnig niyo ba ako, guys? And of course, tonight, again, we're going to do the part 2 of our mental health awareness, which I already told you before, which we didn't actually get to kind of like finished back then. So we're going to finish it tonight. But of course, we're going to react and share more awareness tonight. Diba? And before we even start, everything. Diba? Everything. Before we even start everything. Ayan. Kay Christopher Durain. Diba? Mega love shout out to you. Sa Diyosa ng Bahaghari, Sisi Koy, mega love shout out kay Mylene, sa admin ko, and syempre kay Pulano, red na red. Diba? Mega love shout out. And of course, don't forget, guys, if you can, please do me a favor, share this live stream to your social media or your community. Let's get mentally fit. Diba, nagbakol pa. And of course, hindi naman matatapos ito dahil we're going again today. Diba? We're going to multi-stream again tonight so we can actually, more people would actually know a lot of stuff it's not a lot of stuff, but like the things that I kind of like feel that I have to share with you guys at the same time, like people that kind of like influence me throughout my life journey and my fitness journey, because I've already said this before, like being physically fit, you actually have to be mentally fit first before anything else, because if you're not like mentally fit, if you didn't, ayan, tatalakayin natin ulit to, guys, ayan, para ma-review ko kayo ulit, diba? Magre-review pa tayo, ayan. Because you have to understand, guys, sometimes when you lose motivation, it's because you're not mentally strong. There are things that, life happens, and sometimes it's not what you planned or it's not what you expected it to be. And sometimes those are the things that sometimes makes you feel like you're not motivated enough. You lose motivation, and also you kind of like become weak. Basically, kind of like that. Diba? Admin, kumusta? Diba? And of course, guys, if you couldn't talk in English, Tagalog, Portuguese, Nihongo, welcome to IC Fit live stream. This is a multilingual live stream. And if there's any language that I don't know, I couldn't speak, let's stick with English, okay? And of course, to my fellow Filipino guys, I encourage you to practice, not just for fellow Filipinos, but the people that would actually be in this live stream. Even if you're replaying this live stream, if you feel like you wanted to practice your English, but you're afraid or shy for judgment, there's no judgment here. I sometimes, I kind of like, I'm not really good in English, so, you can practice here. And of course, to Felipe G, diba? Mega love shout out to you, Felipe G. How you guys doing? Before we even start, guys, I'm pretty sure tonight everything will be all right. I checked and I think everything is going to be good. You're gonna hear the things that I'm going to like share with you guys, and I hope you guys actually know these people. But if not, make sure to follow them as well, because they're kind of, like they're interesting. You'll find wonderful stuff, especially when you're into kind of like phase of like trying to find yourself or trying to be mentally strong or mentally tough. Ika nga. Diba? And of course, to my BFF, for you, tonight is for you as well. So if you can actually interact tonight, I hope this live stream tonight would make you feel or make you kind of like understand or learn more about the things that you know. Sabay ganun eh, no? Ayan. IC Fit BFF. Admin ni IC. Mwah, mwah. O, diba? Ayan. So, before anything else, guys, let's kind of like try to recap, the last part where I kind of like explain to you what is mentally fit or like what is mental fitness. And the thing is with mental fitness, according to my research, guys, I'm just recapping you guys. But if you want to kind of like, learn more about it, the part one of this, make sure to watch that. It's replayable. It's already becoming mentally fit. I'll probably, like put the link in the description below as well if you want to watch that. So you can actually get a grasp or understanding what it is, because there's a huge stigma about mental health, mental awareness, and stuff like that. So I kind of like wanted to be part of that, advocacy where we're not going to stigmatize that word, or we're not going to look past about our mental health problems. Mental health problems talaga. I'm fine making dinner at midnight. Hope everyone is well. Oh, I usually do that as well, Felipe G. I'm not going to like, lie about it. I like midnight snack. Like in the Philippines, growing up in the Philippines is very, very common for Filipinos to have. I'm trying to, I don't know what's wrong with my throat, guys. So, there are, like it's very, very common for us Filipino to have midnight snack. Like we actually go outside or like find something to eat. And I think that's one of the things that you're not supposed to do, especially if you're trying to lose weight or you lose fat. But sometimes it's just kind of like, I got accustomed on that, especially I'm a evening person. O, diba? Ayan. And syempre kay Sisi Koy. Mega mega love shout out naman sa'yo, Sisi Koy. I know you're busy. We're all busy, guys. But I hope you find interesting and you find it fun to kind of interact with me tonight. Because it's going to be like, I like this one. I want to react on this one. I want to share about this one. So hopefully we're going to find something useful and helpful for tonight's live stream. O, diba? Ayon. So, Ben Kalugay! Aw, si Ben. Papa Ben, how are you, Papa Ben? Welcome, welcome to IC Fit live stream. O, diba? Ayan. Namiss ko makita yung name ni Ben Kalugay sa live chat ko. Hello, Papa Ben. And of course, to serve a survivor. Ayan, one of our very positive personal trainer in the house as well. Ayan. Kasama ko yan, ayan, personal trainer din siya from US of A. Ayan, how are you doing, Servo? Yo, o, diba? So, before anything else, let me do this stuff. Ayan, so we can actually do this smoothly without any technical problems. Hopefully, everything goes good. Oh, ikaw naman, Papa Ben. O, diba? Papa Ben, welcome back to being IC Fit family. And with that, ayan, this is for you, Papa Ben Kalugay. Thank you, Papa Ben. Mwah, 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 mwah. Nag-abala pa talaga si Papa Ben. Mukhang mayaman ngayon si Papa Ben. O, diba? Great. How about all of you? Ayan. So, of course as well, guys, if I started to become talkative and I'm trying to explain things, things to you guys, don't be shy to interact with each other in the live chat. Like know each other, talk to each other. If you're a fellow YouTuber, kind of like connect with each other because you don't know, you might want to have collaboration with each other. Like find time to actually, know each other in this live stream because that's what I kind of wanted to have. It's like a community where we can actually kind of like support each other in a way. That's kind of like one. Pengen maliit lang dyan. Oh, naku naman, Papa Ben. Ayan. Thank you, thank you, thank you naman. May pagganun pa talaga si Papa Ben. Ang sarap magmahal ni Papa Ben. Ano? Ayan, guys. And with that said, this is again for you, Papa Ben. O, diba? May ganun. Nagloloko na naman yung computer ko. And again, take two, Papa Ben, if you didn't watch that. O, diba? Ayaw niya na. Ayaw niya na mag-play. Ano ba nangyayari sa computer ko, guys? I just bought this PC, but for whatever reason, it keeps doing whatever crazy stuff it does. But Papa Ben, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Yeah, love you, Papa Ben. And eating breakfast and then heading to gym early today. Ooh, I like that. Yes, yes, yo. And thank you so much, Sir Ben Kalugay from my admin. And to you, digital fanboy, Icy Fit. Hey there. Ayan, hey there as well. Naalog yung PC mo, kakaalog ng puwet mo. Oo nga, feeling ko. Diba? Dapat hindi kami dito nag-aalugan, diba, Papa Ben? Dapat medyo layo-layo kami ng onte. Baka naaalog na yung PC ko. Ayan. And of course, guys, ayan, let's try to do this stuff. O, diba? May pag-ganon. Ayan. And this one. Ayan. So we're gonna recap about mental health. What is mental health? And of course, Winksy. Ayan, mega love shout out to Winksy. Thank you guys naman. Ayun, 'di ba? Kaloka kayo. O 'di ba? Ang sarap magmahal talaga ng Team Josa, guys. O 'di ba? Kaya guys, yung mga nakikita niyo diyan sa baba, pag hindi pa naman kayo konektado sa isa't isa, mag-connect na lang kayo sa isa't isa, guys, ha? Ay. O, diba? Ayun. So, guys, let's start again. We're going to talk about a little bit. We're gonna recap about this. And if you want to kind of like, like more understand what is mental health and how to kind of like get a grasp of it, like, please visit the description link down below. The articles, the videos that I'm going to show you tonight is all there, so you can actually read it by yourself, like read it more, because I'm just gonna get the glimpse of it, here and there. So if you wanna watch the whole video, read the whole article, it's all in the description link down below. O, diba? Ganon. Admin ni Icy Fit from Ben Kalu, guys. So, we're going to start with this one, guys. Ayan. O, diba? O, mukhang maayos ngayon. O, diba? I did my job. O, diba? So, what is mental health, you guys? Ayan. So, sometimes, this is the thing, guys. When it comes to mental health, a lot of us, actually, a lot of people, I don't know in other countries, but there's a huge stigma when it comes to mental health. Like a stigma where we don't usually talk about it. Like, because it's kind of like embarrassing for some people. And like growing up in the Philippines, sometimes when you talk about mental health, it means you're crazy and nobody wants to be called crazy. But it's not just about that. So mental health, includes our emotional, psychological and social well-being. So that what it meant. It's not just about, the stigma about it. And it affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act. So it also helps determine how we handle stress. So this is one of the things, if you don't know how to handle stress, that's one of the things that a lot of people feel that, like you're not mentally strong, that's the word. And relate to others and make choices, like simple stuff, like make choices. Like I, for one, sometimes, my problem is when I go to a restaurant. There's so many options. I couldn't make a choice, like a little stuff like that sometimes. And mental health is important at every stage of life. So from childhood and adolescence through adulthood. So over the course of your life, if you experience mental health problems, and it's not just about, like the big ones, it could be small, little stuff that you're having a hard time, like hard time dealing with the stress and stuff. It's all mental, you guys. Your thinking, your mood, behavior could be all affected. And this is one of the things that I feel like, sometimes I learned throughout the years, when you're stressed outside of your house or outside of your home, like if you're working, sometimes a lot of people bring their problems or bring their work problems at home. And it actually affects just not just your mood, but the mood of people around you. So this is one of the things that you have to understand and learn, how to kind of like, differentiate and how to handle the stress in your life. Ayan, and hi, sunshine. Ayan, 100% true. Mega, 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 mega. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love shout out to you. And Carmina Diocton. Aw, thank you, ganda. Mega, 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 mega. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love shout out to you, Carmina. Ayan, thank you. And mega, mega love shout out po sa lahat from pinakamaganda o di ba pinakamaganda, mamaya na magselos yung iba dyan. Yan. One of the beautiful faces that I've met on YouTube, ayan, Carmina Diocton, o di ba, adorable. And so these are the things. So many factors contribute to mental health problems, including biological factors, which means namamana, diba? Such as genes or brain chemistry, life experiences such as trauma or abuse. That's why if you're a parent, anything, if you're traumatized on something, it's really good if you kind of like take your time to kind of like process these feelings, Don't hurry life, And family history of mental health problems. I miss you, Ate Izzy. I know. I couldn't. Sometimes it's like so busy lately because it's going to be Christmas soon. So we have to work, so much of things that's happening right now, but like thank you for having the time to come say hi. I really appreciate it, Ayan. So these are kind of like the recap. So tonight we're going to talk about the importance of mental health. Why is it very important? Why is it that like all the time I keep telling you guys, like it's not just about like sometimes, the things that we're ignorant, kumbaga, yung mga bagay na hindi natin alam, diba? Sometimes it's kind of like, in a sense, that's kind of like what limits us to find the better version of you. Because you're not trying to learn more. Sometimes you're trying to learn about it, but you don't actually try to understand. So I think I'm not trying to be deep. I'm not trying to be deep, you guys, but I feel like there's this kind of like, like learning and understanding is kind of like different in a sense. Yung pinag-aaralan mo at talagang iniintindi mo, magkaiba yon in Tagalog. Ayan. Okay lang po, ate. Oh, thank you. I'm pretty sure one of these days I'm gonna have time para makipagyaw-yawan na naman again sa'yo. I see. As your supporter, ayan. Okay, let's see. As your supporter, I feel like you're always giving, but we're not returning the same energy. How can we give back to you? By sharing this live stream to your social media and your community. Ayan. Making it kind of like it's not just us, but we're actually trying to like get the words out there. That's kind of like what I kind of like wanted to have. And like if you have time, interact with me, talk to me, come join me in my live stream. That's a lot for me. That's actually a lot of, I am like happy about it if it's like that. Like seeing you 100% true and all of the people that's here, that's not forgetting about this live stream and actually trying to understand. And in your small way, what you've learned in this live stream, you're actually like trying to talk about it in your own community or in your own friends and family. That's a lot for me because that's just kind of like what I wanted to kind of like, like just kind of like put it out there because learning, knowledge, trying to understand one thing, trying not to be ignorant about something is one of the things that really life can offer us, like trying to be, like because I didn't know, that's why you have to learn, and there are things like there's a lot. And today I'm going to actually like introduce you again to like people that I kind of like like motivates me in a way, or at the same time, I find very interesting to find information. I'm going to introduce them with you. We're going to react with them and try to understand what are they trying to advocate as well. So those are one of the things that I actually feel like you can really support me back is by preaching it out there as well. Ayan, Nick. And thank you, 100%. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. O, diba? And Wangsi, ayan. O, diba? Meron ka na. And of course, to Kalia Isla. Oh, Kalia, how you doing, Kalia? Do you feel better now? Ayan. Mentally, do you feel better? Because everyone, this is really, really, I hope you stay tuned till the end because I really want you to understand everything that we're going to talk about because I feel like if it does help me, it will help you. But you have to understand and you have to be open about this. And if you cannot understand, it's my pleasure to translate it in Tagalog if you want so we can actually understand everything tonight. Ayan, diba? Ayun. So, let's see, guys. Ayan. So, again, ayan, we're going to do this. So, the importance of mental fitness, you guys. O, diba? Keeping your brain in shape. Diba? Ayun. Alfie Hisola. Oh, welcome to Icy Fit live stream. Alfie Hisola. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Alfie. Ayan. O, diba? I hope I pronounce it. You got this. Yes, I'll definitely got this today. O, diba? Kumusta kayo, guys? From my admin. O, diba? And so physical fitness gets plenty of attention, which is I already tell you guys, like sometimes when you want to be healthy, it's always physical, going to the gym, exercise and stuff like that. And for good reason. It is, diba? Ayan. So a healthy body can prevent conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and help you maintain independence as you age. As I've said, guys, don't get stuck in a bubble, like loving life is, like trying to take care of your health as well. So as you age, you're not going to have hard time doing the things that you enjoy when you were young. But mental fitness is just as important as physical fitness, which is, I always tell you guys, you cannot be physically fit if you're not mentally fit. So, and shouldn't be neglected, especially you have to understand these past few years of pandemic, you have to understand understand how mental health is really, really important. So, including mental dexterity exercises into your daily routine can help you reap the benefits of a sharper mind and a healthier body for years to come. So, mental fitness means keeping your brain and emotional health in tip-top shape. O, di ba? Tip-top. 'Di ba? May pa-tip-top pa siya. Ayan. So it doesn't mean training for brain Olympics or acing an IQ test. It's not about that. When you say mental, as I've said before, it's not just mental, like, intelligence or IQ. It's not just about that. It's your well-being, psychological, your emotions, how you act, how you feel, how you decide things. It's one of those things. So it refers to a series of exercises that will help you slow down. Life is too fast. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I feel like every hour you wake up, you do your work, and then the next day you have to sleep, and then tomorrow again. It's so fast, especially if you're aging. It feels like it's really, really, really fast. When you're young, it feels like one day is so long. But the thing is, when you're getting older and everyone is getting older, it feels like time just flies so fast. If you have kids, you probably know, you understand, you probably can relate to what I'm saying. So decompress, refresh, and boost a flagging memory. Ayan. So mind-body connection. I've already tackled this. And if you are yan, beautiful host and interesting, sharing good topic from Alfie Histola. Oh, thank you, Alfie. I hope you do find this very interesting because that's kind of like our goal for tonight. Diba? Ayan. I hope you stay tuned till the end. And Sisi Koy, thank you. Wengsi, thank you. Kay Papa Ben Kalugay, thank you. So, let's see, guys. Ayan. So, it's no surprise that the more you help your body, the more you help your mind. So, physical activity increases the flow of oxygen to your brain. If you don't know about that, now you know, guys. If you exercise, cardio, stuff like that, it increases the flow of oxygen to your brain. Your brain needs to function properly. That's why if you don't exercise, you feel bad. But try to exercise, you'll probably feel good. It's tiring, but you'll probably feel good. Try it out. So it also increases the amount of endorphins. Hans Aaron Vlog. Ayan, thank you. Mega, 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 mega love. Shout out to you, Hans Aaron Vlog. Welcome to ICFit live stream. Thank you. Ayan, so the endorphins are the feel good chemicals. These are the hormones that we kind of like, put out to feel good about themselves. If you don't exercise, it's exercising is one of the things that are really, really good so you can have this. So for this reason, it's not surprising that people who are in good shape, remember guys, physical shape, also tend to enjoy a higher level of mental agility. Just look at, like in Japan, because I live in Japan, where all of you guys know there's a huge population of old people. And, my dream has a lot of them, and they're actually having the blast of their life. Is that how you say it in English, guys? But basically, they're enjoying their life, even if they're 80 years old. One of my clients is 85 years old, enjoying himself, like trying to have a lesson with me on trampoline, still can do that. Versus, like 50 years old who's basically couldn't even walk for 10 minutes. Which is happier, stuff like that, guys. You have to understand. Video lang host because I'm hanap buhay muna sa pa-entry na salihan ko. Oh, Alfie Sola, thank you. I do appreciate that. And of course, ayan, 7:49 coming to you. Oh, diba? Ayan, thank you sa'yo John Alfie. Ayan, and me on upper body gym, I'm jump out of bed on lower body day. My procrastination skills are legendary. There are moments like that. You can't help it sometimes. You have to procrastinate sometimes. But the thing is, as I've said, guys, like it's not just, New Year resolution is the thing, like you can procrastinate, but at the same time, you just have to like not procrastinate for the whole life, like always try to start again and again, diba? Enhance Aaron vlog. Ayan. Hello to everyone. And of course to Shirley. Mega, 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 mwah, 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 mwah. Love shout out to you, Shirley. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. And of course to Cici Koy. So moving on, guys. Ayan. So engaging in a vigorous, diba, word. Before I don't know the word vigorous, guys, but now I know, diba? Vigorous physical workout can help you battle depression and gain more positive outlook on life. And the thing is, guys, there's a lot of people that actually like, because it's so hard, they don't even want to start, The thing is, do not say no when you're not even trying it out yet. Like try it out yet. I don't care if you feel like you don't want to do it. I don't care if you feel like it's so hard. Try it anyways. Just start because nothing is really easy. And it's also a great way to beat stress, which can harm you mentally and physically. Exactly. So another story, guys, is like, like one of the things that I feel like, do you observe sometimes when it's kind of like rainy outside and it's kind of like cloudy? You just want to be in bed for the whole day, and sometimes if you continue leaving it like that over and over and over again, it becomes so draining. But once, like you put, and I don't even know if you've even tried this yet, but if you don't, try it. Because, like just one, I know you'll probably put a lot of effort just to stand, but stand anyways. Because after that, you'll feel good. Because just that, just that moment of you telling yourself to stand is another way of trying to put an effort to do something. So just keep that in mind, you guys. And Ayan. And according to study, in the National Academy of Sciences, certain memory training exercises can increase fluid intelligence, the ability to reason and solve new problems. So one of the things that I feel like a lot of people are having hard time is deciding on stuff, trying to find purpose in their life. And one of the thing is like, sometimes when you have problems, you just don't feel like wanting to face the problem. You run away, or sometimes you forget to find accountability on certain situations you're in. But if you're mentally fit, if you're mentally kind of like trying to learn how to be mentally fit, these things can happen. You can actually face your problems, and you're not going to be alone. That's why this channel is here. If you can't find someone to talk to, every Wednesday, I'm here. Let's talk about it. Diba? Ayan. And of course, to Kisses Katapang. Mega, 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 love shout out to you, Kisses. Ayan. And Kisses your way as well. And mega love shout out host. Ayan. Suffering in the gym for 5 or 6 hours a day is better than suffering long term from your body being in shit condition later in life. Exactly, but not a lot of people think like that. That's why it's part of being mentally fit. Sometimes people only think about now, and I get it. Some people are more in the present because, like you don't know what's coming next. But the thing is, it won't hurt if you think about it as well, because you don't know. It's the same thing. It could go both ways. I am. A week, I meant. Oops. And mega love shout out everyone from Kisses Katapang. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ayan. Wala pala tayong ilaw sa likod, guys. Ayan. Let me start this one, guys. So it's kind of like, ayan. O, diba? So, a little bit pinky, pinky. O, pinky, pinky. Ayan. And of course, ayan. So, while exercise is good for the brain and body, so is meditation. So, guys, I know it's kind of like, like some people find it, how do you call that? How do you call that? Pretentious, or sometimes, like I find it, I'm not cringy, but the thing is, sometimes when I promote meditation, like sometimes I feel like, people would roll their eye when you talk about meditation. But meditation, in conjunction with other methods, is an alternative way to treat depression. And we're going to talk about that later on. So, calming the mind allows you to problem solve in a more relaxed way, which a lot of people doesn't have. Meron nga tayo sa Tagalog, padalos-dalos, 'di ba? Sometimes when we feel anger, when we feel stressed out, when we feel hurt, when we feel in pain, we kind of like, like decide what are we going to do based on what we feel. And it's not usually good. And I always tell this, sometimes in life you have to choose your battles. Not everyone you have to like kind of like, if you're triggered about something, you have to jump on it. The first thing, you have to understand, you have to analyze, and meditating is part of it. If you're a religious person, meditation for me means praying. Because you're praying, you're in yourself, you're on your own mind, you're trying to relax yourself, trying to talk to somebody, is something like that. That's another form of meditation. Praying for me is another type of meditation. Ayan, and of course to Neil's Arsenal Vlog TV. Eyes, love you all. Thank you, Neil's. Ayan, diba? Thank you, guys. And of course, moving on, benefits of mental fitness. So when you go to bed, after a long day, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know this, your body begins to relax. You relax your body. Sometimes a long day at work, you miss your body. You miss your body. You miss your bed so much. Have you ever felt like that? Guys, yung parang hinahanap ng katawan niyo yung kama. So sometimes you felt that and you want to relax, but at the same time, your mind isn't relaxed. Pagod ka pa rin. And sometimes we have this saying, I don't know if you guys, would agree with me. Press 1 if you agree, guys. But sometimes it's easier, at least for me, sometimes it's easier to be physically tired than mentally tired. Like I don't like being mentally tired for real. Like I'd rather choose being physically tired because you sleep, you wake up, you're full of energy. But if you're mentally tired, no matter what you do, it feels like it's just not going away. So that's one of the things. So visualization can help. Visualization, daydreaming is another part of visualization. Those stuff. But the thing is, daydreaming, visualization, it's all in your hands. You control that. You can think, positive or negative. And this is one of the things that I feel like you have to understand and you have to learn on your own. Diba? So you can often achieve a sense of peacefulness through imagery. That's why sometimes we watch something that makes your mind relax, find something like that. The process of picturing a tranquil scene, sometimes we have this find your safe place and always kind of like think a safe spot in your head when sometimes you feel like that, like happy place. When you were young, I don't know about you guys, but when you're young or when you're kid or like you're afraid of something, you're trying to like, you can actually listen or like hear this a lot on movies, like find your happy place. That's another form of visualization. So this practice can reduce tension in both your body and your mind by challenging neurons in the less dominant area of your brain. If you didn't listen, if you didn't heard about it, guys, ayan, sa Tagalog, may parte tayo ng brain. Hindi na lahat ng parte ng brain natin nagagamit natin, guys. And that's very important. That's why we have brain exercises. So the less dominant side of your brain is the area that controls feelings of self-confidence and optimism. So listen to this very carefully, guys. When you think about something other than your daily worries, you increase activity in the neural structures of that area of your brain. Ultimately, a visualization can boost your emotional well-being and calm you down mentally. Diba? So very, very important, guys. And another thing before we move on, this is another part of like when you're trying, or especially if you are, planning to be a parent, or you're planning to be, like trying to be a mentor to someone, especially if you're a parent, because everything feels like this is kind of like the pivotal point of everyone's life, is because we became once as a child. And if you really want to kind of like, help somebody or help someone in a positive way, if you're a parent, try to already kind of like be better yourself as well. And as well, like try to always, like guide your kids or guide the kids if you're a teacher, or, like try to find these things, share this kind of like visualization and stuff like that to the kids, because in the Philippines there are our next generation, so you have to pass it on, kind of thing. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of more stuff in my brain or like in my head that I want to explain to you guys, but we're probably going to be prolonged if we're going to talk about that. So we're going to move on, guys. Ayan. Diba? So these are one of the things that I really feel in this article that you'll find very interesting. And I really find it interesting for me that I feel like these are the things that I kind of like, the steps or like the things that I do to become mentally fit, as we say it. So I hope you find this interesting. One is stop multitasking. BFF, you're there. Ayan. So I always felt, that, because I couldn't multitask, it's so bad. I mean, I guess it has its benefits, cons and pros depending on the situation. So you may think that multitasking enables you to get more things done at once, but it actually creates more problems than it solves. So focusing on one task at a time will improve your concentration and help you to be more productive. And I feel like once you're in the internet, for example, guys, once you're in the internet, usually you are focused on one thing because you have a goal, like when you're researching. But sometimes you get segue, or like sometimes, like things are just popping up every instance. And before you know it, you're not in your goal. So rather than being productive because you're not really trying to focus on one goal, then you become not productive. So that's what it was saying. So stop multitasking, especially I think it kind of like, if you're a person who's having kind of like have problems concentrating, and you already know that, and you are kind of like, you feel like you're mentally weak, you get stressed early or you get stressed super fast, I think this one is actually for you, because you have to stop multitasking. And so next one is be positive with yourself. Actually, I wanted to kind of like talk about this a lot more, and especially if you can relate, please do. please do share your opinions because I do want to hear it. But this is very, very important. Being positive is overrated in the sense that a lot of people are saying it. But the thing is, are you even doing it to yourself or like by yourself? Because being positive is very, very hard, especially if you are struggling. And this is the part where mentally fit or mental fitness comes with, like in the struggle moments. So, positive affirmation is one avenue to increase mental proficiency. So, affirmation or talking to yourself, which I actually do a lot. If you didn't notice, guys, I like talking too much, and I do talk a lot. Especially to myself, diba? In a positive way. As I've said before, again and again, guys, there's no one will believe in you than yourself. No one can actually help you but yourself. It's kind of like it's sad because but the thing is it's kind of real. Like people will love you, people will be around you, people will support you, but at the end of the day it's just you and you alone who can actually do things that it could be either make you better or make you bitter. Oh, diba? Better and bitter. Oh, diba? Ayan. So, ayan, naloko na to. Ayan. So, affirmation or talking to yourself in a positive way involves strengthening neural pathways. Ibig sabihin yung mga utak natin to bring your self-confidence up, well-being and satisfaction to a higher level. So that's one of the things. Kung hindi nyo man, usually, my mom always tells me this. And this is true actually. Sometimes I don't really wait other people to praise me. Sometimes I'll just praise myself. If I did something good, rather than wait for someone to compliment, I'll compliment myself already because that makes me feel good. So try it out. Try it out sometimes, even though you don't believe on it. Try it sometimes because it does feel good. But there's a silver lining, guys. There's delusional, and there's people who are so delusional. So don't be like that, still have self-awareness. So to start, make a list of your good qualities. And I know this kind of like corny for some people. Probably some people wouldn't want to do it. You don't have to tell anyone that you're doing this. You can actually do this on your own time. If you feel like don't lie to yourself, guys. If you feel you're one of those people that are struggling deep inside, have time for yourself. 10 minutes. Make a list of good qualities that you have. Remind yourself that you don't have to be perfect, because one of the things that makes a lot of us so stressful is because we try to please a lot of people around us. But the thing is, we forget that we have to please ourselves first, but not in a way that you have to kind of like hurt somebody else's feelings. So set goals for what you want to improve, be realistic about it and start small to avoid becoming overwhelmed. So simple stuff like small things, guys, like if you feel like, for example, me in this past few days or past few months, like I always ask myself, in the past few months, like, am I a good friend? Or like, am I a good person? Because, like why? And, like we have kind of like very big components in life, right? Friendship, family, life, or love, and career, right? Kind of like four. So in all of those, I'm fulfilled. But when it comes to friendship, why am I always having a hard time? You know? So I kind of like try to think about it. What are my good qualities and what are my bad qualities? And when I started to kind of like visualize it, try to understand who I was, and I'm not going to be perfect, or like don't have to be perfect, I just have to be me, then I suddenly attract people that are actually like me. People that actually kind of like doesn't really kind of like, you don't really have to put a lot of effort, like having friends, you have to put an effort, but at the same time, because I know for myself, I'm not really always out there. I'm a homebody. So if I find a friend, like wants to always go out, then I'll probably gonna lose that person because I don't like going out all the time. So that's one of the problems that I think my goal to have friends and, the things that I can offer and the good qualities doesn't kind of like align. So at that point, I kind of understand who I was. And that's kind of like where I kind of like focus my energy on finding people that are like minded like me. And now I'm getting more success, when it comes to friendship. Just a little bit of sharing, guys. Ayan. And Wangxian, Sisi Koy, thank you. Ayan. So, another one, guys, is, ayan. So, try something different. This is, I've always said this all the time as well. That's why I find this really, really nice. Something different. As I've said, I've told you guys, sometimes getting out of your comfort zone is a good thing. That's part of how you get better with your life. But be safe, You're not that stupid enough to be not safe. Oh, diba? Talaga naisundot pa talaga yun, diba? But try something different. New experiences can also set you on the path to mental fitness. So you can fit new approaches into your daily life in a variety of ways. So, for example, try new foods, And a lot of people, Sisi Koy, isa ka dito eh. Sometimes a lot of people doesn't try new foods, because they don't want to. But the thing is, you have to, because sometimes you wouldn't know it's good if you don't try it, So trying new foods is kind of like, like a smaller step of knowing you can handle something like that. In kind of way, sa madaling salita, guys, kung kaya nyong lumabas sa comfort zone ninyo by trying new food, then that's a small step, Then you can do a little bit. Then you can do a little bit, Just think of it that way. So try new ways to accomplish routine tasks. This is another thing. Travel to new places, just be careful, guys. Take a new way to work or the grocery store. Yeah, sometimes I do that as well. Because sometimes all the time, if it's the same, you can't find, sometimes it's the first time. It could either be good or bad, as I've said, guys. But sometimes, like going out of your way and finding new routes. Sometimes you find, new place that you've never seen before, which is gonna be interesting for you. So something new, So this is another thing. According to the Alzheimer's Association, which is one of the things that I'm advocating about, is trying to take out there, is about Alzheimer's. Research shows that keeping your brain active, this is one of the things that I always tell my customers, like I actually incorporating a lot of cognitive training, cognitive exercises in my, my lessons, because, like I feel like as we grow old, We don't have this mind and body connection. And if you don't know about mind and body connection, please do check out my beginners do's and don'ts. I explained everything in there. Watch it, you'll understand it. Ayan. So doing new things in new ways appears to help retain brain cells and connections. Ayan. So it may even produce new brain cells. The thing is, kung hindi nyo ginagamit yung utak ninyo, guys, mamamatay yan. Kahit ano pang hindi nyo ginagamit sa katawan nyo, mamamatay din yun. And the thing is, the more we grow, the more brain cells are dying. Kind of like that, in kind of like harsh way of saying it. But as I've said, I'm not a doctor in any way. I'm just trying to share to you guys what I have learned, what I have researched, and if you want to research more about it, do so on your own. O, diba? Ayan. So, in essence, breaking out of your routine can help keep your brain stay healthy. New stuff, new challenge, new things to think about. So that's another thing that makes your brain healthier in a sense. Healthy mind, ika nga. Ayan. So reading is great for your brain as well. So if you don't like reading, guys, you should. Like there's actually, I think one of the things that I find, like, I don't know, guys, but because you're not trying to share of your own, I'm going to share my own, guys. So one of the things that I feel like, when it comes to reading, like growing up, I like reading textbooks, the ones that, in your school. So the way especially if I'm by myself, I read it out loud. And I think that's one of the things that's why I pick up languages, easily, is because I don't read, just read. I read it out loud. I'm a person who likes to read out loud, and it makes me feel like my brain is processing things. And if you're not a fan of reading, it doesn't mean read a book or read an encyclopedia. Just read something, And if you have time, put another step on those. Read it out loud. Don't read it in your head. Read it out loud. Like your mouth is moving, your brain is working, stuff like that. It really going to help. Diba? And ayun. So, your brain is processing each word, recalling the meaning instantly. So that's one of the things that I feel like that's why I'm really good at words, and I'm really kind of like talkative and I'm not running out of words, is because when I read as a child, I like kind of like recalling the meaning. I actually do have like, how do you call that? Not encyclopedia. What do you call it? Dictionary, actually, side by side sometimes. So I could actually understand what the word means. So beyond the mechanics, reading helps you visualize the subject matter on the pages before you and imagine what voices sound like in the written dialogue, which means your imagination, which means you're working your brain exactly. So this can also be a great relaxation technique because you're basically getting out of your real life. You're trying to like imagine something out there. So reading is a great activity because it can stoke the imagination and ignite so many different parts of the brain. And there are endless genres and types of reading material. It's unlikely that you'll run out of interesting things to read. Exactly. So marami yan, guys. So matuto kayong magbasa. One of the things that can make you mentally fit is as easy as reading anything, And games that actually test reasoning and other portions of your brain are fun ways to keep your mind sharp. So games actually are good for you guys. Crossword puzzles is always good. Board games, because it's strategy, there's a lot of strategy. It's like app, sometimes Candy Crush for old people are actually good, if you come to think about it. Sudoku, diba? And games are a great way to build up your brain muscle. Like I've said, cognitive exercises, matchy matchy. It's good. That's why, when you have kids sometimes, that's the thing. Puzzles are good for kids. It's actually very, very good. Even fast-paced action video games may boost your ability to learn new tasks. Exactly, So don't hate on games, guys. Just try to kind of like, balance everything. So another one is take the time, to find time. Don't be so workaholic, like sometimes saving too much money, if you get sick, then your money, the ones that you've saved up, is gone in an instant. So mental fitness doesn't have to take up a lot of your time. Doesn't really. If you go to the toilet, if you're gonna, go to the toilet and do your business, you cannot take that time. Don't bring your phone. Talk to yourself. Meditate, Find ways to do that. So playing Grand Theft Auto games as a kid was good for me. I knew it. Yes, for me, I think, because, like brain muscle memory, your brain is, like you have to do this strategy thing. The thing is, there's just a line of like, the addiction phase. So that's the thing that I think, a lot of people kind of like have a stigma when it comes to gaming, because it's not the game's problem, it's the person problem. Ayan, diba? Ayan. So right now, I'm actually doing like Battlefield 5. So it's actually nice because, you get to like be a leader or like trying to strategize. What am I gonna do? Muscle memory, fingers. Sometimes as we grow old, our fingers are getting sturdy. You don't can. So those are the things, sometimes it's good, but you just have to kind of like have a balance on it. Ayan. And remember that relaxation and visualization are just as important in a mental workout as the more energetic activities such as memory exercises or game playing. So try adding one or two activities at a time to your mental workout, such as relaxing, visualizing, affirming, as I've said, talk to yourself, compliment yourself. That's good. Memory exercises, finding, like, as I've said, speaking English, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for your brain. It's very much scientifically proven that learning a new language is good for your brain. Game playing. That's why I do it. I'd say what I liked about the GTA games, but I'll get in trouble. I know. I feel like I have the same kind of like things that I like about my games. And of course, the takeaway. So, mental fitness is important to maintaining your brain and your body healthy, especially as you age. So, don't forget about that, guys. So, there are many types of mental dexterity exercises, and you don't need to go to the gym for it. As I've said, guys, there's a lot of my exercises in my playlist that I keep telling you, mind and body connection. You don't need equipment. All you need to do is understand what specific body muscle or body part you're moving, because that's part of the thing that we called mental fitness. So that's another thing that you have to understand. So, there you go, guys. Ayan. So we kind of like recap everything about mental fitness, and we're going to the next part of we're going to react to one of my favorite doctor. Ayan, doctor on YouTube. He's a real doctor, and if my doctor looks like this, I'll probably wouldn't be lazy going to the Hospital. And of course, another channel that I find very informative when it comes to mental health, awareness, which is I'm an advocate about. So please stay tuned, guys, because we're going to react on these things. And I want you to watch with me as well, interact with me, join me on reacting to this informative interview that he has. So Ayan. And BFF, thank you, thank you. So please do not go anywhere. We're gonna take a quick break. So, if you want to go to the toilet, get your stuff and whatever you do, come back and we're gonna react to my favorite channels on YouTube.
Wow! Congratulations! Wow! Congratulations! Wow! Congratulations! Wow! Congratulations! Wow! Congratulations! Wow! Congratulations!
And we're Back, diba? So, we're going to react to these people. And if you don't know these people, guys, please do. Yeah, watch the full episode because I'm just going to get you the glimpse of what we're going to talk about today. So, please watch the full episode and check them out as well. You know, if you're not subscribed to them yet, please do subscribe because they really have wonderful and informative stuff. If you don't know about them, I really love these channels. So all the description are in the links down below, so connect with them, you know, subscribe to them, do what you do, but they're very informative. So please, ayan, all of us interact with me, join me in reacting to this interview about the relationship between mental versus physical health, because I feel like there's a lot of things that we can talk about. And if you want to share something, you know, like not trying to be like invading privacy and stuff like that, share them. If you have any opinions as well, please do let them know in this live stream, or you know, drop a comment down below as well if you're watching this on replay. Ayan. So I hope everything, let me know if you can hear it, guys, because I already tracked. Everything will do good. If I'm echoing, please let me know. Ayan. So we're gonna try to do this, guys. Okay? Diba? Ayan. There you go. So if anyone know of you guys, if anyone know who Dr. Mike is, ayan, good job, guys. Ayan. So I don't know if you know Dr. Mike, but you know, if my doctor looks like this, I'll probably go to the hospital every day. Just saying out there, you know. But he's one of those people that I kind of like, you know, like make ailments or make things that are kind of like you wanted to learn more, you know, you have to understand more. And he's actually one of those people or influencers on YouTube that I feel like very interesting when he kind of present this type of things, which is really, really good for all of us. So let's hear what they're trying to say about these two things. Okay, guys? And I hope you hear this. Please let me know if you cannot hear it. Please let me know. Let's see.
Yeah, I think this really leads into the question of relationship between mental and physical health issues. A common question that we get from the community is, what is that direct relationship between mental and physical health?
Yeah, so it happens in multiple pathways. First, our bodies are so interconnected through the neurological system. Any implication that plays a role into how your brain is perceiving the outside world is going to change how your body reacts to the outside world. A simple way of seeing this is if you're in a stressed out state, high anxiety state, your blood pressure starts to go up. And that's a physical manifestation of something that's happening on the mental side of your body. Another way the body connects is through a neuroendocrine pathway where the body actually starts signaling through different hormones how your physical body should react, again, to your mental health state. And that plays out in a lot of different roles when it comes to chronic stress states or chronic anxiety or chronic depression states, because that's when you start seeing weight gain become an issue, joint pain become an issue, lack of motivation, and things that you might relate to being more physical health bound, but are actually related more to the mental health side of things.
Right. When you think
So, naintindihan niyo yun, guys. Ayan. So, that is one of the things that I feel, you know, that's why I always tell this. I always say this, guys. You know, everything is kind of mental sometimes. And the thing is, you know, like, why is it very, like, they're kind of like together is because sometimes, you know, like, when you're stressed out, ang gwapo naman ni Doc. O, diba? True, diba? Sabi ko sa'yo, guys. That's why, you know, like, you know, it's kind of like a thing, you know, if the doctor is kind of like, you want to visit this, your doctor's appointment every month, oh, diba? Ayan. But the thing is, yes. So one of the things that I feel like that's why, you know, when you're stressed out, and I've told this many times, stress is not just, you know, it's kind of like correlated. It's related to each other sometimes. When you're stressed out, you lose motivation, and it's all mental, guys. So, and at the same time, if you're in pain, we're gonna talk about that more a lot in this interview. But if you're in pain, it's draining, and the thing is, sometimes it could be like, because it's physically draining, then you're mentally drained. So it's always coincides, or like kind of like related to each other. That's why it's very important that you have to understand exactly what is the problem. You have to understand, where is the problem lies. Oh, diba? Ayan. Oh, tuntua kayo sa tingnan, no? Ayan. Ayan. So, moving on, guys. Ayan. And let's see more.
In all these kind of neuroendocrine pathways and things that you just described?
Yeah, so because the body's so connected and it's so reactive to each different aspect of life, because the body's all about maintaining homeostasis, which is sort of a balanced state within the body. So if you have a release of too much hormone, the body will then counteract its initial release and decrease the amount of hormone being produced. And that sort of pathway, that homeostasis pathway, happens in many ways, whether we're talking about blood pressure, pulse, even your environment. Like if it's too hot, you start sweating, or if you see a lion, you need to release a lot of adrenaline. That sort of homeostasis is all about balance, and it's best balanced when you're experiencing both ends of the spectrum. And when your mental health is in a state where you're only on one end of the spectrum, the negative end of the spectrum, where you're not feeling well or you're feeling down, the body starts taking a toll on it, because the blood pressure starts to suffer. The foods that you're eating start to become foods that spike your insulin, causing you to crash more often throughout the day, have less energy levels throughout the day. And all of that is going to impact your motivation levels. And once your motivation levels start dropping, it's harder to go to the gym. It's harder to create social connections, and low.
So basically, guys, so this is one of the things that I feel like, that's why it's very important that you're mentally fit. And this is one of the things that I always advocate a lot of my clients or people that I talk to, even in this channel. I always tell about this, like sometimes, trying things new. If you find yourself, you want to be fit, you want to be physically fit. Sometimes there are a lot of ways to do things, but sometimes because it's very new to you, there are right ways to do it. And usually one of the mistakes that I feel like a lot of people, especially the beginner that do, like physical fitness or like exercises, is because, they're trying to find ways that they think that they're following, there's a lot of fitness channel in YouTube, and you follow a certain kind of like certain routine. But the thing is, it's too hard for you that rather than trying to enjoy things, enjoy the process of things, process of exercising, then because you're doing things and you're not trying to understand what it is or how it is done correctly, then you get to injure yourself sometimes, or it became too hard for you to a point where, the hormones that we're talking about, then you become stressed because you cannot do the routine, or it's either you become injured. Then the thing is, rather than, mentally you get the result that you wanted, it become more of like you're going back again, because once you get injured or once you get stressed out with a certain routine, then you tend to lose motivation. And the thing is, when you're stressed, you sometimes binge eat. There's a lot of people that kind of like eat a lot when they're stressed. At the same time, there are people when they're stressed, they don't eat, which is not balanced in in all aspect. It's not balanced. That's why it's very, very, very important that you actually understand your body. Like, it's not it's not kind of like, you don't have to do something, like drastically something. It's actually better if you can, slow it down. Try to understand things first. Why are you doing things? Because these are the things that will make you, achieve that better result. The ultimate, or not ultimate, but you don't limit yourself. But once you get to a point where, because you want it so bad that you exhaust yourself, then mentally, you are kind of like compromising your mental health because of your physical health or your physical fitness, something. So it's not balanced. So that is one of the reasons that I'm so advocate, or like it's one of my advocacy to kind of like these two things need to be balanced as much as you can. And it's okay to slow it down. It's okay to start slow. The important thing is every day you're doing something better for yourself. That's the most important thing. And always try to enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. So that's my favorite phrase, actually. Enjoy the process. So there's actually like there's a lot of things like diet and exercise is another thing, guys. So we're gonna watch more of this. Okay.
Loneliness takes a huge toll on us, both physically and mentally. So it's really like this cascading pathway where it may start with not feeling great and feeling down. Then it goes to not eating healthy foods and eating a lot of junk foods that make you crash and not have motivation. Then to putting on weight, to having joint pains, to having less social connection. And that could further put you back into that cycle of not feeling great, of having anxious thoughts, depressive thoughts. And really, that's what a doctor should focus on when they're seeing you in the office or in a hospital setting. Because when we look at patients and we look at the issues that they bring forth to us, it's about understanding them as a whole person. It's very easy to just look at the end of that spectrum and say, oh, well, you don't have many social connections. Let's find you a social group to join. Or you're not eating healthy foods. Here's a list of healthy foods. I am technically providing you a solution, but it's not the solution to the actual problem, because the problem started much earlier in that pathway. And that's what a good doctor does. That's what a good clinician does, is try and figure out where that pathway starts. So we address that goal earlier on so that pathway doesn't even get a chance to form. And to me, that's the beauty of medicine. That's where I get to play detective to figure out why it's happening. Yes, we're talking about mental health causing these physical manifestations, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it is a physical issue that's causing the patient's symptoms. So that sort of touch and go balance, understanding the person in front of you, gaining trust with them. That's the beauty of medicine. That's why I enjoy being in a room with the patient.
I think it's sort of.
So that's the thing, guys, So another thing that I feel like that's why I'm kind of like sharing this interview with you guys. It's not just about being a doctor or, I find it myself as well. And if you come to think of it, guys, you'll find it in yourself as well, that there's a correlation between these things. Like, for example, guys, when it comes to diet, just, like a simple glimpse, do you observe yourself when you're eating a lot of rice? That's carbohydrates, right? When you're eating a lot of pasta or like spaghetti, the moment you after the moment you eat, carb loaded food, the first thing you want to do is sleep. That's why they called it carb crash or something. You just want to sleep. Like your body just shuts down. And that's the thing with me. Anything that you put in your body comes out eventually. So if you're eating garbage, then don't expect that you're gonna be healthy. Or don't expect that you'll feel good about yourself. And that's one of the reasons, that's why sometimes a lot of people who are on a diet feel bad about themselves when they crash, is because, they know it's not good for them. And I'm not saying that, you shouldn't enjoy life, because there's a lot of people that actually, this is one of the things that I always find it kind of like, well, I wouldn't say pathetic, because that's kind of like a harsh word, but at the same time, enjoying life, if you think about it really hard, like just really think about it really hard. Enjoying life is not trying to kill yourself, unless, But the thing is, enjoying life to the fullest is as you age, you're still enjoying the things that you were doing. You're not just always doing throwback. Like, oh, when I was younger, I look like this, or you can still look like young if you only take care of your body and yourself. I'm not saying do not eat food. I'm not saying do not eat food that you kind of like enjoy. I'm not saying that. You can eat those things, but not every day. The thing is, a lot of us are actually so like we don't we don't have this accountability. I feel like the world becomes so like it's always blaming other people, like, oh, because this and that, or like, for example, like when it comes to food, well, there's no food. This is the only food I have. This is the only thing I could. But there are certain instances like that. I'm not saying that it's not out there. Like, for example, third world countries, they don't have access. They don't have access to, healthy foods, because it's either they don't have money to buy healthy foods. But if you live in the country, you have an access to have healthy food. You can cook your food, stuff like that. It's all about information. And the thing is the same thing. Last time I was talking about this, like we were talking about obesity. And the thing with obesity, guys, like if you really look, if you really kind of like, and this is one of the things that I actually wanted to talk about, like the body positivity and stuff like that. Like I want to tackle that one as well. But one of the things that I feel like there's a moment, like I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, there's a moment of my life where I got fat, and the thing is, because I know I had that information that I have a family history of certain diseases, and I find a way to actually learn, and people tell me that these are actually hereditary. By the time I know that information, I kind of understand that I have to take care of my body, or I'll end up like that. So the thing is, you have to understand, it's not about, because you either, because, I don't really have to look pretty, or I don't really have to look sexy. It's not about that. It's about living healthy. It's about enjoying life. Like walking 30 minutes and you're not out of breath. That's enjoying life, because if you come to think of it, how many, like fat people you know of that they don't complain about their joints? They don't complain about how heavy they feel like, like there's also like self-confidence, like why do you think a lot of people are getting bullied back in the days? Like I remember back in the day, even in Japan, it's still prevalent. If you're fat, you're gonna get bullied. It's just the world it is. So mentally fit. Mental fitness is where these things comes into place, like if someone bullies you, if someone tell you you're fat, the thing is, if you're mentally fit, like you're gonna think about it as like a motivation. And I know not a lot of people will think of it that way. And that's why it's very, very important that we actually share awareness about mental fitness, because it could be learned. It could be learned if only you open your mind about it. If only you take these small steps to change, to start. And the problem is sometimes it's so easy for a lot of people to blame others. to blame things that are happening to them. You have to take part of the accountability of what's happening to your life. So that's what mental fitness is all about. Having the self-awareness, the accountability of trying to change something because you don't like it. Like, you don't have to say you're okay if you're not okay, but you have to change something if you want your life to be as better. You want to be a better version of yourself. And this is why these two things are very, very important to be balanced. It's gonna be hard, but that's why there's a lot like this channel, Psych to Go channel. Mega love shout out to them. One of the things is very animated. They make it fun. Like, mentally it's kind of fun to watch because it's all animated and they're trying to tell you things. And then the other part is like with Dr. Mike, he'll explain to you stuff that it's going to be entertaining, and all you have to do is basically listen and understand to the information. But the thing is, with the technology and stuff like that, rather than take a moment, try to find, like even just 10 minutes of our time to learn something, to understand something. We'd rather watch something that has like a lot of negativity, or something that, like, I'm not saying don't watch some stupid shit, watch it. I do watch them sometimes, but I find time to learn something, to find something to better myself, and I'm not saying I'm perfect either. That's why this channel is all about our life journey, because I want everyone to understand that these are very, very important, you guys. Ayan, o, diba? Masyado na, guys. I'm masyado seryoso, guys. I'm too serious, I'm just really passionate about these guys, Like, I really want everyone, because I have this mentality. If I can do it, so can you. But it doesn't mean, like, it wouldn't be hard. It doesn't mean that, like, the thing is, we're all different. As Dr. Mike says, there's no one size fits all. It doesn't mean that one thing that he would do with his patient would do with another one. It's not. But if only you can open your mind, if only you can try even just a little bit to do something about it, like, try to figure out what's the problem, rather than kind of like, like, how do you call that? Like, for example, with the food that we're talking about, like, I'm trying to enjoy life, so I'm gonna eat everything, and then you'll complain that you're fat. Well, whose fault was that? So accountability and stuff like that. So yun, basta yun na yun, guys. Ayan, so there's more stuff, guys. So we're gonna talk about more stuff. We're gonna react to a little bit more stuff.
Right. Yeah, with diagnoses sometimes being sort of subjective, there's often a lot of comorbidities, right? So I'm wondering, how can, for example, depression affect the body differently compared to, I don't know, anxiety, or even different subtypes of depression?
That's an important point you raised, because depression has different subtypes. A lot of times my patients who do suffer with generalized anxiety disorder end up having symptoms of depression. And again, it's very easy to start saying, oh, they're feeling down. They lost motivation in things they once enjoyed. They're not sleeping well, and diagnose them with major depressive disorder. When the reality is they're actually suffering from generalized anxiety disorder, from constant nervousness, constant catastrophic thinking, like even jitteriness from this hyperarousal state. That needs to be addressed. And then the depressive symptoms start to wane. So it's really understanding, like, what is the source of the symptoms before jumping to following a checklist of, oh, the patient has X, Y, Z, and that's
That is very, very important as well. Like, I'm not a doctor or anything, you guys, but just listening to that, if you think about it, and I don't know if that makes sense to you, but sometimes, like, and I've been telling this, like, ever since I started live streaming, I've been telling, like, the word depression is actually so overused that we kind of like used it a lot just because we're sad, or just because, something happened in our life that's, like, obviously you're gonna be sad about some things, but sometimes we jump into conclusion that we have depression, that it's because like this and like that and like that. But at the same time, we don't think about what is the source. Sometimes it's all in our head only. But if we try to think, how am I going to, and that's what mental fitness is. If you're trying to analyze things, and if you cannot analyze things your way, there's therapy. If you have money, go to therapy. That's really good, or talk to your doctor or something like that, or talk to a person that you trust, something that, like not you, like not going to be biased about the situation you're in, because sometimes this is one of the reasons that I feel like as I progress with my life, I try to, even if it's kind of like embarrassing to ask people, I ask people that I really trust, what do they think about this? Because sometimes there are moments in our life that sometimes we feel like we have a certain disease, but at the same time, it's because we're constantly thinking about it. We don't really kind of like, stop for a moment and try to kind of like, if you're grieving, for example, if you're grieving because someone passed away, and you don't kind of like stop for a moment and try to grieve about it, you just kind of like move on and stuff like that without trying to find something peaceful in you and then moving on. It's not really healthy. So Marge Benag Vlog, ayan, mega love shout out to you, Marge. Thank you for coming. Ayan, thank you naman. So that's another thing that kind of like what makes this kind of like interesting for me is the same thing as when you have certain diseases in your body. When there's pain, obviously, there are a lot of stuff that's going to happen. If you're heartbroken, you'll be depressed. But it doesn't mean, like you have to linger on it. That's why I keep telling you guys, try to put an expiration date on things. Try to be positive about things. Because even if how bad of a situation you're in, there's always going to be someone who is in a bad situation than you are. I'm pretty certain about. I'm not praying for that, but I'm just saying, sometimes we forgot about that. Yung tipong feeling mo dahil gumuguho ang mundo mo, nakalimutan mo na mas meron pang malalaki ang problema kesa sa'yo. Alam mo yun, diba? It's not being selfish in a way that, because that's what you feel. It's fine and all. But to finally put it together and then basically, like revolve yourselves around that negativity, it's gonna be your own fault that your life is not as happy as it could be because you're not helping yourselves, because at the end of the day, when it comes to our mental fitness, a lot of people will come, to your aid, will come to help you, but it's your mind, and the end of the day, you're the only person who can control it unless there's something really wrong with you, something like that, guys. Thank you, Marge. Ayan. So, there's a lot of the interview as well. So, if you do want to check them out, the description link is down below. There's a much more to uncover on their interview. But, we are approaching the end of our live stream. But, that's what I'm saying, guys. When it comes to our physical health, when it comes to our mental health, it always has to be both. Find balance. If you don't know anything, if you want to be, if you want to feel happy, give yourself that, try to think positive, because every bad situation, I bet you there's even a small chance you'll find positivity on it, if you only try. But sometimes, we don't try. because it's so easy to be pessimistic on things. I So those are the things that like you have to really understand. Daniel Garhunen, mega, 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 mwah, 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 mwah. Love shout out to you, Daniel. And thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. Hi, Icy Fit, and hi to you. So how about you, Daniel? Do you think you're mentally fit? So for now, we're just going to end that little bit of the interview of the react because we're approaching our 2 hours. And I kind of wanted to give the time to you guys, a little bit before I end this live stream. Oh, Felipe G, thank you, keep it up. Thank you, thank you, thank you for always. I like that. Thank you, thank you. And this one is for you, Felipe G. Ayan. Are you going to watch it or not? Yeah, Felipe G. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it a lot, lot. Ay, arigato gozaimashita. And Felipe G. Hi, Daniel from Felipe. Thanks, Hi, Sifit. And admin, thank you, thank you. Hi, Felipe G. from Daniel. And wow. Diba, ayan. Okay, I watch. That's good, ayan. I like that you guys watch, I do that because, that's kind of like how I appreciate you guys, like kind of showing something the other side. This side that I don't usually kind of like put out there, but it's me as well. Yeah. Well, I'm mentally fit to come to Tokyo during this weekend. Woo! Wow! So you're coming to Tokyo, Daniel. That's kind of cool. I know, like I've been to like Shibuya lately. Like Shibuya, a lot of places actually. I've been, like out and about now. So I actually see a lot of people, like a lot of, like tourists and foreigners more. And it's kind of like, it's nice because, like after the pandemic, 3 years of pandemic is actually pretty mentally draining because you cannot go anywhere, you cannot do anything, you cannot meet people. And, like it's starting to become normal. But at the same time, there's actually like the place that I go to, like my other job, the job that I go to, there's another place. One of the actually that I noticed over there, there's a lot more people that don't wear mask. And the thing with me is like, at the same time, like when I'm buying shopping, when I'm going to grocery store and shopping, I usually, when I come back home, I put alcohol on everything before I put it in the fridge. So sometimes I have this question where, when do I actually stop doing this? When do I actually stop wearing mask? Stop like because it's really like sometimes I feel like going out like the last time actually when I was going to work, there's actually one time where I feel like, why is it so nice? Why it's so freeing? Because I was biking and like my place, there's like a hill where my bike is going fast because it's going down the hill. So I was like, why is it so fresh? Like, why is it so breezy? And then I have to stop because I forgot my mask. And I was kind of like, like I didn't panic. I wouldn't say it's a panic mode, but I almost kind of like stop and kind of like scratch my bike or something like that because it's kind of like, I don't think I could ever go outside without thinking or, like being anxious about not wearing a mask. So, like that's why you have to be mentally fit, and you have to actually understand the importance of being mentally fit, especially how the past years have been. I hope, like I hope that makes you kind of like understand what's the importance of gratitude, because sometimes I feel like, that's why a lot of people are miserable, a lot of people are depressed, a lot of people are actually, like weak mentally, is because they don't know how to practice gratitude. The things that are actually like we take for granted, like going outside without mask on, how important it is. Like there's another story, because last time we talked about dating, right, guys? And like when we're talking about dating, I had this story. I've heard a story, like so they're on a date, so one of the things that in Japan is awkward is, like kissing in public, or like, like public display of affection. And, dating in general in Japan, sometimes it becomes more and more and more awkward with people because of technology, right? So one of the things that I've heard about is like, like before, and we're talking about consent. If you didn't watch the dating live stream last week, that was last week, please do watch that. It's replayable. And if you think you have an opinion on that, leave a comment down below of it. You can watch it. It's on the playlist. So one of the things that I feel like, like another thing that became a hindrance for people because of technology is because we have a mask on, right? When before we don't have mask on, and when it feels right, it's so easy to kiss a person. But now, because you have to take the mask off before you kiss somebody. So there's a lot of people, especially, like people that are their first time dating, and they're so awkward, and all this consent thing going on. It's like, it's kind of like another hindrance to make it normal, So, yeah. So basically, social skills, like being mentally fit, deciding on what to do in life, it's part of everything, like just find something, like be real. And that's all that I have to say today, tonight. So I really hope you find something wonderful, informative on tonight's live stream. Because if not, I'll try better next time. That's what I can do, like try to be better next time, better, 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 better. So if you also have anything that you want me to react as well, when it comes to mentally fit, physical fitness, please let me know. Connect with me on my social media. It's at Mark IcyFit. You'll see me everywhere. Basically, it's just IcyFit. Search on me, I'll pop up. And if you want me to kind of like have an opinion, or at the same time, if you want to be a guest, because every Saturday as well, I do live stream every Saturday. So if you want to be a guest and you want to talk with me on screen, you want to be my guest on a podcast, or like talk like life, life experiences, and you feel like there is something that you can share to the whole world, or people that watch this channel, and you feel like you have to say that, please let me know. Let's set it up. Let's have a one-on-one, share your life, share your stories, experiences and stuff like that, because I bet you're not going to be alone. You're not alone. If you are struggling, IcyFit is here, and every Wednesday and Saturday, I'll try my best to keep you company and feel like you're not going to be alone in this world, There's always going to be people that would listen to you, will help you, will support you on your fitness journey, on your life journey. Let's build a community. At dahil dyan, guys, this is where I end this live stream. Again, thank you guys for being such an awesome and wonderful people. Ayan, always coming to my live stream. Ayan, Felipe G, Marge Banag, Vlog, Daniel, thank you for coming back to this live stream. And of course, to the people who are watching right now, if you're still watching right there, sa mga naka-BG, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Ayan, I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope I do justice, delivering and sharing awareness about topics that are usually a taboo and, have a stigma. Don't stigmatize mental health, try to voice it out there, share awareness, help me, ayan, let's build a community dahil sa channel na ito, kayo, lahat ang bida. Bye-bye, guys! Oyasumi, otsukare-sama deshita, and arigatou gozaimashita. Ciao!